Hi there, good morning and welcome to The Nation, a program where we like to address issues that concern all Malaysians, issues at a national level. And in today's episode, we look at the subject of humanity, how one Malaysian is trying his level best to help some of those who are perhaps not Malaysian, and how one royal lady is here to add to that subject and to improve the way we do humanitarian work here in Malaysia. Now, my first guest with me is Mr. Ravindran Rajappa, who's the president of the Patronage of Refugee, which is based in Kajang. Mr. Ravindran, very good morning to you.
Good morning to you.
And welcome to the show.
Yes.
Now, such a pleasure to have you in here in the studio with us. Tell us a little bit about your background and about the birth of the Patronage of Refugee.
Okay. At the age of 5, I ended up in an orphanage home called Anbu Ilam. It's in Taman Permata, and I was there for 12 years. And there is the time where I learned about heart of living and things like that. And later I started with my career. I studied computer diploma and slowly started into my career. And later in 2005, I started helping people. Like we pick up street people. I rented an apartment for 450, and we bring them over. We take in sick people and things like that. And there was one day we found while driving, I found a road accident. It was a Sri Lankan boy. Brought him to the hospital, and there was no documents with him, and the government hospital protocol, as we know, we need documents, identity to register admission. So somehow I managed to get him in and given treatment, and after discharge we brought him back to my house because I didn't have place to go. And that was the time he told me about refugee, migrant, and things like he was under UNHCR and things like that. And then I started to study about this migrant and how they are in Malaysia and what kind of lifestyle they are going through.
Challenges that
they face as well. And I started from there. In 2013, we registered Patronage of Refugee under the Registrar of Society, KDN, and it started from there because during 2008-2009, when we help a migrant is actually harboring them, we can be brought to court. So my adopted sister, her name is Sri, so she have advised me, no Ravin, I think you have to go as an organization, as a body,
proper channel.
Proper channel, and it's how it started from 2013. Yes.
And so the Patronage of Refugee is basically a shelter home that is especially for migrants and victims of human trafficking. How many have you sheltered and are currently sheltering?
Okay, the figure I can give you a rough figure, like we started in 2013 till today. We have sheltered nearly about 200 of them, and we have also face-to-face counseling. We have done about 3,000 migrants, and phone counseling about 300 over, and we have also counsel them, tell them if your country's situation is right, it's okay, good, you have to go back. It's not just remain in Malaysia. And we managed to send back about 200 over of them back to their family in their home country. And also, if let's say if there is a death event, death in Malaysia, we send back the bodies. We have sent back about three bodies. And also we do programs like awareness program and things like that. Well,
I personally feel that of course it's a very real problem, but I think many people don't realize, or we are so caught up with our own issues in life, our own challenges, that we forget that at the ground level what is really happening. What are the main problems or difficulties that are faced by these migrants in particular? Okay,
you see, I believe that nobody wants to be treated bad, or they wants to be an illegal without any permits or anything to be in Malaysia. And they have given false promises by the agents and third parties, and bring them over to Malaysia with a lot of hopes and things like that, and at last then they ended up an illegal.
A lot of times we think that they are illegal because of their doing, but we don't realize that sometimes they are also victims. Where does the funding for the organization come from?
It's actually we fund public donations. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if all our viewers are watching, they can also help to donate.
Yes.
If they like. The organization is called the Patronage of Refugee. And so how do they end up at your doorstep, whether it's migrants or even the victims of human trafficking? Are they referred? Do you go around to the ground level through connections to search for them? How do they end up there?
No, actually what we do is we have our social workers who also go for house visit, and we see what kind of help they need and things like that. If medical help is needed, we will bring them back and give them treatments. And also we have cases referred by United Nations. And we have cases referred by other NGOs like Good Shepherd, Human Aid Organization, Tenaga Nita. We all work together. We work together, but we are into different areas. Yeah.
With migrants, perhaps a little bit more easier to reach them. But what about the victims of human trafficking?
Yes.
That one will be a little bit more challenging because of the complications that are involved.
Yes. What we do is actually, once they have been rescued, they will be taken into custody, and then from there the government procedures will follow. But now what is happening is we are already working with MAPO, Majlis Anti Dagang Manusia. It's formed under the KDN, and we are working together. They have already, they want to have a scheme. They are coming out with a scheme to train all the NGOs on how to handle them. In fact, I think there will be a parliament amendment to the local act. Right now is only victim of human trafficking can only be sheltered in government shelters.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, if the amendment is done, NGOs can also shelter victim of human trafficking. We can take up the case and we can shelter them, and then we look into the matter and we send them back. But now at current position, it's all government. Yeah.
Well, it is a lot of work that you are doing and your team are doing on a daily basis as well to help curb this or fight this problem. For those who come with any issues like medical issues, need for hospitalization, how do you go about that?
Okay, what we do is we have come out with a medical plan which is called PR at Care. Our insurer is actually underwritten by Maybank, Maybank Ithaka, and normally whenever they approach, normally for migrants, and also we will call it migrant, victim of human trafficking is also migrant. So what we will do is we will issue a medical card and they can get admission in hospital, and the insurance takes care of it. Yeah, so Ithaka is actually, I would like to thank Ithaka. Ithaka has come on board and they have played their role to pay back to community. Yeah.
When you speak to these migrants, what are their sentiments? Are they longing just to go home, or do they still have hope to be in the country and find work?
You see, the situation is, it's actually most of them, they have sold everything they have. And with the new life, they come to Malaysia. But it's a very sad thing that they ended up victim of human trafficking, and of course they can't go back to their country. That, like, most of them have sold their land, sold their house, property, everything. So even if they go back, they don't have a place to stay, and that is the reason they are trying to somehow get a re-employment here legally, and they can continue being here. Yeah.
So if any one is watching, how can they refer a case, or if they themselves feel that they are a victim?
They can call to the office number is 03-8741-6660, and they can speak to the officer in charge and they can refer cases. Yes.
And is the call center 24 hours?
It's a 24 hours call center.
24 hours. Okay. Yeah. How serious is the problem in the country, in your personal opinion, and what are authorities doing about it?
Okay. You see, I will say Malaysia itself is a victim of human trafficking. Because all this, we are receiving country. It's actually, there is a lot of sending country who should really look into prevention. prevention of, they have a strict filtering process before sending over people to Malaysia. And once they are already at Malaysia doorstep, of course, once they are in, the authority is looking into, they are going into the process of getting the, the agents and all this kind of people. But I think, we are receiving country. We are also becoming a victim of human trafficking. The Malaysia itself, we have
it's like there's an influx, and then we have to
manage it. It's like problem. We have to solve the problem.
Yeah.
And I will say, I felt very bad when I came to know that Malaysia has fallen into tier 3. It was a very sad news for us, because we really know how government is trying to work together with all the international organization, and also they are also bringing all the local NGOs like Tenaga Nita, Good Shepherd, WAO. Everyone is coming on board to help together with government to solve this issue. We see how we can prevent, and how to shelter, how to protect, how to give them, and also they are looking into, during shelter, they are looking into what are the activities we can give them, the education that we can give them, things like that. So government is really putting taking initiative to solve the issue. But you see, it's a global issue.
That's right.
It's a global issue where we also need the help of the other country, the sending country, to also take some effort on this matter.
And of course, here in Malaysia as well, to help the government, the hands and legs are NGOs such as yourself that are helping to quickly reach out and provide that counselling support, healthcare, and all of that. Now, our next special guest, and a very special lady, is Her Highness Princess Maria Amor, and she heard of you when she was in Sri Lanka, and she's here in Malaysia, and she'll be on the show shortly as well, to help to promote humanity.
Yes.
Tell us a bit about that.
Okay. You see, I really appreciate that Princess Maria has taken all her effort to come to Malaysia, and before this she was in Sri Lanka, and before that she was in India, and she have found an organization called We Care for Humanity based in California, and she's making it as a global organization. She wants to have an office. She's establishing office in all the countries, and also they are more into bringing people to recognize people, those who are doing humanitarian work, to United Nations, and also to get help for those NGOs to manage and run the shelter home organization, because we do have overheads that monthly we need fundings, constant fundings for us to manage the organization.
That's right.
So there is where she's coming in. She's coming in as the umbrella to all the NGOs, and also she is ready to work together with government bodies to see what they can do about preventing human trafficking, combat human trafficking, and also regards to education, health, and it's not only for migrant. Is for any human being. And for Malaysians as well. As Malaysians
for the Malaysian chapter here.
Yes.
So moving ahead, what is the plan for you with the organization Patronage for Refugees?
Okay. We, of course, we going to focus, this year we're going to focus into three things, which is, first is going to be combat human trafficking, the second one will be education, and third is health. So we will be going under the umbrella of We Care Humanity, and we will work together, and we will try to rescue more migrants, shelter them, and if possibly we find a place for them to go back to their own country. I think some of them really have to get back to their country, and those who are really victim of human trafficking, government is also looking into an opportunity like giving them re-employment. Re-employment for them in Malaysia. So I think we will look into that as well.
Fantastic, Ravin. I think I'd like to thank you for all the noble work you and your team are doing. And we will be taking a quick break. As you can see, the website is there on the screen at the moment, and you can check it out online. And we'll take a quick break. When we come back, our next very special royal guest, Her Highness Princess Maria Amor, who is the president and founder of the We Care for Humanity organization. She'll be joining us shortly. I'm sure you don't want to change the channel. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Isu semasa dan terkini industri kreatif tanah air. Perkembangan muzik tempatan. lensa anak seni, aksi layar perak, tanpa gosip dan sensasi, semuanya disisipkan selama setengah jam dalam Teddy Sini, bukan sekadar hiburan. Setiap Sabtu, jam 12.30 tengah hari, hanya di Bernama TV.
Kavita, Meling, dah set ke belum?
Sikit je lagi, Puan.
Apa menu kita hari ni?
Semua menu sihat. Ikan bakar, sup ayam, sayur-sayuran. Banyaklah.
Puan, banyaknya guna minyak. Bahayakan kesihatan lah.
Betul lah macam ni. Saya dah kurangkan separuh dari biasa ni.
Cuba rasa ni. Sedap tak?
Biar kurang masin, jangan lebih.
Betul tu. Kita kena kurangkan minyak, gula,
Garam dan santan dalam masakan. Barulah ramai pelanggan datang ke kedai kita.
Semuanya
sihat belaka.
Menyelami realiti, menjejaki masa, meninjau peristiwa, paparan kronikal kembara kehidupan, pelbagai keunikan juga pengalaman menarik. Segalanya disorotkan selama setengah jam dalam channel Bernama setiap Ahad jam 9.30 malam hanya di Bernama TV.
Hi there, welcome back to The Nation. Today's episode is super special. In fact, I should say royally special, because in the studio with me is Her Highness Princess Maria Amor, who is also, of course, from the Royal House of Baloi in Mindanao. Princess, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Jessie.
Such a pleasure to have you.
I'm so overwhelmed by just being here on national television in Malaysia, not in the USA or in the Philippines where I came from, but here in Malaysia. So hello to all the Malaysian people. How are you today? I'm very fine myself. So to tell you about myself, I hailed from the Philippines, born and raised, and now I live in the United States. I'm an adopted daughter of a Datu in the Royal House of Baloi in Mindanao. His name is Dr. Datu Kamad Ali, and that's the reason why I got the title Princess. And I'm also an appointed chieftain of the Federation of the South Kingdoms, headed by Her Imperial Majesty Empress Shiba III. And that's why I got the title of being Governess Queen. Apart from that, I'm also the founder and president of We Care for Humanity, and the creator and chairman of the Global Officials of Dignity Awards. And I represent a lot of organizations, including the Tribal Government of the Philippines, and also the International Human Rights Organization that is based in India, but they are worldwide, about 140 countries. I recently visited different countries and they made me global ambassador as well, goodwill ambassador, like the Acid Survivors Foundation in India, the Navodaya Foundation in Sri Lanka, and of course the HWPL and International Peace Women's Group in Korea. And I'm also part of there's so many organizations I have to mention. They will get jealous if I don't mention. I'm also the global ambassador of the Order of Saint Jerusalem. This is the Knights of Malta, based in Malta, of course. And also, I'm part of the ICHAPS as Goodwill Ambassador.
Okay, so many hats
and
that
many
you're wearing.
More.
Many more that we won't even go into mentioning. But of course, there's so many resources, and all your work is online. And I've tried to do some reading up as well. But what I noticed is everything that you do has one essence, and that is humanitarian work.
Yes.
What propels you? What inspires you? And how did that love come about?
It came naturally to me. It's not something that I seek for or I tried to do as a career. in the beginning, I was into different things. I'm like jack of all trades. I'm into dancing, into arts, into teaching. I'm in business as well. But I noticed that in everything I do, there is something that I need to do for humanity.
Something
giving
to give back. Yes.
Right. So, and it seems like I'm doing it in a big scale. So, in the Philippines, I started a non-profit organization for fitness enthusiasts.
Okay.
So that's under health and fitness. It's called Di Katawang Pinoy, means Filipino body.
Yeah.
And under that, we held a big event in the Philippines, which sort of, they say, I put my name on the map of the Philippines because it's a conglomeration of beauty queens, models, supermodels, body champions, and fine artists of the Philippines. So everybody went together in promoting health and fitness.
And that created a larger awareness.
It became like a ripple effect, you know, for people. Now they're doing the body paintings and they're, you know, it's so good. It's a great feeling. And then I moved to the United States, which I also continued my fitness business. I had a business in the United States doing teaching aerobics. I had my own platform called Exotifit.
Okay.
It's nothing really sexy. It's more like the different dances all over the world.
Okay, so like belly dancing, and
Bollywood. So I'm fond of Indian culture.
I can see that. Very pretty. Looks very regal on you. Fits very aptly. Now, you started the organization. You're the president and founder of We Care for Humanity. How did that come about, and what is currently happening with the organization?
Yes, it started when, like I mentioned, that I opened my Exotifit. We Care for Humanity used to be Exotifit for Humanity. I have groups of women that I'm, you know, managing, teaching them dancing, and also kind of guiding them and leading them to a path where they will be more empowered. So it went really well. It created a buzz in Hollywood. And we decided that we want to take more than just the empowerment and health and wellness. We want to even do more things under education, human rights, green environment, world peace, and eradication of poverty.
Okay.
So we
Tall
have gone
order.
everything, like we're a little United Nations. So it has gone bigger, and the vision became bigger as well. And it's not only in the United States. We have chapters in Nigeria, in Indonesia. And now that I'm here in Malaysia, we're forming it through the help of our honoree, which I will mention the name later. And of course, with Ravindran.
Yeah.
And we also have chapter in India and recently in Sri Lanka.
Having arrived here in Malaysia, what are your opinions, observations about the kind of work that is really ongoing here?
The humanitarian works. So yesterday, this is very short trip for me. I will only stay until tomorrow actually. So yesterday, my kind of second or third day, we visited at least 4 institutions. One is the Welfare for Women. There's the Our Family group home. There's also a orphanage for boys, and then we also visited a refugee community.
Okay.
So what I noticed, it's nothing. There's nothing different from other organizations, also in other countries, like in the United States or in the Philippines or India. Because, I mean, it just shows us that there's always a need. There's always the less fortunate people. And it depends on the volume of the population of the country.
Yes.
It's almost the same as the number of people who need help. Like for example, in India, when I went there in Kolkata, surely it's very dense place, and there are a lot more people who need help there. They need more of, I think, as far as fight against hunger. There are kids who are not in the school. There are families who need more medical attention. And in Sri Lanka, because we know the situation that it's just after the war, and so they're still settling down in some places, and so the children are not, some of them are not put in the proper schooling yet. So education is number one over there. I think that we need to push, and surely they have the peace going on, and with the new government, I'm sure we will need to promote more peace over there.
That's right.
And but it's a beautiful country, so I don't think the health and wellness is the same. We need, I think in most countries there are poor areas, and we need to pay attention on all the causes that I mentioned, like the human rights, which right now we're discussing about the human trafficking.
Yep.
We need to, and I heard about the being put in the tier 3.
Tier 3, yeah.
Yes, which is not a very good situation, but I think that if we raise more awareness about human trafficking and give more education to people about the effects and the impact of human trafficking, then I think we can improve the standard.
That's right.
Of anti-human trafficking here.
Absolutely, and
Yes.
and thanks to you and others, many others out there as well, who are doing work tirelessly, trying to help to create that awareness. So, leaving Malaysia, what would your hope and what is your mission when you leave tomorrow? What do you hope to achieve?
Well, first let me tell you my mission, why I came here. Number one is I'm doing a documentary on our honoree, His Excellency Ambassador Dato Sri Dharmadas Damu. He's a Malaysian humanitarian ambassador that will be honored at the 3rd annual Global Officials of Dignity Awards.
That's right, which we'll come to in the next segment.
Yeah, so I was doing that, and then of course the forming of We Care for Humanity Malaysia with the help of the ambassador Dato Sri and also Rabindran. And my hope is that we execute this plan right away, and so that we can extend our help here in Malaysia to carry on the mission and vision of We Care for Humanity here.
And it just won't be for migrants, but it'll also be for all Malaysians. And there are 7 chapters that is part of the association, of the organization. What are those 7 chapters?
The 7 causes, which I mentioned: the human rights, the green environment, world peace, education, the health and wellness, empowerment, and eradication of poverty.
Okay.
So we try to work on those sectors, and whatever we can contribute. The whole idea is to work with different organizations, because alone we cannot do it.
That's right.
Every organization needs funding, but if we work together, I think we can achieve a better result. So we are adapting what I did here. If you want to talk about the Global Officials of Dignity Awards, it's a fundraising platform of We Care for Humanity to fund our yearly projects. And it's a platform itself that we use so that we can bring more people in, more humanitarians.
And honor them as well.
And honor them as well, because our goal is to raise humanitarianism. And that's why there is the Traveling Princess show. I travel, I go to a country, and we select an honoree and we do a documentation on them. We immortalize them in our own little way so that other people can see that that everyone can do the same thing.
I like the word you use, immortalize them, that forever.
Forever they will be remembered.
That's right.
Yes, the goal of the Traveling Princess is to search for the greatest humanitarians of the world.
Wow, and that search will be ongoing, because there are so many people who are doing, even if you're doing a little bit, you're still doing a lot in small communities, right?
Yes, we are like hitting 3-4 birds in one stone. Yeah. So you pick an honoree, we do at the same time the humanitarian works. That way, We Care for Humanity and whoever partner, donors, partners, honorees that we are promoting, with the big publicity, we are we are promoting humanitarianism. We are raising it to the max.
To the max.
Yes.
Well, on that note, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll still be in conversation with Her Highness Princess Maria Amor, who has got many hats to wear, but today she's our very special guest in the studio. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Salam dari Jakarta, sebuah program kerjasama Kantor Berita Indonesia Antara dengan Kantor Berita Malaysia bernama kembali hadir menjumpai Anda.
Sedar tak kita tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, keadaan iklim yang tak menentu sekarang ni. Perubahan iklim meningkatkan kejadian kemarau, derebu, banjir dan ia menyumbang kepada perubahan iklim yang berlaku secara drastik. Inilah dia faktor-faktornya. Yang pertama, asap dari kenderaan. Yang kedua, penebangan dan pembakaran hutan. Yang ketiga, pembebasan asap dari industri perkilangan. Dan yang keempat, pelupusan sisa buangan. Ini usaha yang Pak Abu buat, iaitu yang pertama, menanam pokok. Yang kedua, mengurangkan atau tidak menggunakan beg plastik. Yang ketiga, mengasingkan bahan buangan. Yang keempat, mengitar semula bahan buangan. Dan yang kelima, memilih barangan dari bahan kita semula. Ada banyak lagi usaha yang boleh kita lakukan. Antaranya, kurangkan pemanduan kereta persendirian dan banyakkan penggunaan kenderaan awam.
Anda adalah sebahagian daripada penyelesaiannya.
Menongkah batasan masa, mengupas isu semasa, menjadi saluran pelbagai suara, segalanya baru dan benar di Berita Bernama TV.
Hi then, welcome back to The Nation. My guest today is Her Highness Princess Maria Amor, and we're in conversation about a topic that concerns not just all Malaysians but citizens of the entire world, and this issue is humanitarian work that is being done, especially by the We Care for Humanity organization that the Princess is the founder and president for. Now, to further that, We Care for Humanity emerged the God Awards, otherwise known as the Global Officials of Dignity Awards. Tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, so the main mission of the GOD Awards is to bridge the gap of power and influence to the peace and welfare of humanity.
But how did that idea come up? Like, how did you think of that? Or why?
The GOD, the God. I know. We gotta think of something unique and very catchy. Because, you know, in LA, in Hollywood, for example, they have the Oscars.
Yes.
They have the Golden Globes.
Yeah.
And so I said, well, you know, there's so many humanitarian awards out there.
Something catchy.
Catchy. So it's like, when you say God, it's the ultimate, it's the supreme. However, this is non-religious.
Yes.
And the GOD stands for Global Officials of Dignity Awards.
Well, it also represents the awardees, because they are, in one way or the other,
they are gods.
They are gods, right?
So when I do my event, there's what you call the brunch for the gods. So the GOD. So it's really funny and it aroused a lot of attention and curiosity. And so they asked me, is this religious? So the first thing, most of the honors, they don't like to be you know, they want to stay away from being religious.
Yeah.
Especially if they're dignitaries.
Yes.
And the award they're getting is something controversial.
Right.
But that gives me like, okay, there's more time to explain further what we are, who we are, and so far it's doing great, and this is our third year at the United Nations.
So what happens? How do you look or scout for these GODs?
Yes. First of all, we have a group of committee. We have the nominating committee and judging committee. And we have our own sort of the qualifications. And to qualify, number one, the nominee must have an impeccable background and has done a lot of humanitarian works already, and of course, clean background. We do our due diligence. And this GOD has kind of a niche a little bit. It's more catering to the royals, the dignitaries, and the diplomats. And, and of course, CEOs, top corporates. We don't discriminate, however. Of course, there are so many humanitarian awards. They have particular categories.
Focus groups, yes.
Here, because we want to elevate more, we want to show more the people who I think we want to promote to this group of people so that they will be encouraged more to give back to the community, to all the people who have the means. The wealthy ones, the royal ones, should be doing something.
That's the target audience.
Yes, they should be going out there and doing great things for humanity.
Yeah.
So that's the story behind the God Awards. That's the concept, and it's a global one. So we pick honorees from different countries.
Well, I understand that you also have a traveling crew, and that you would go down to a particular country, you know, and scout for one or two gods, and then kind of take them back to the awards.
To the United Nations. Yeah. So the role of the traveling princess is that is the sort of the marketing and the promotion for the honoree. That's one of the benefits they're getting for being honored is they are being featured on a TV show and really showcasing about their lifestyle, their humanitarian works, everything from being a simple person to a humanitarian to a business person. So we cover that. Per episode is about 45 minutes. So that whole episode is about my travels in that particular city or the particular country and about the honoree.
And an insight into...
And the insight into that, you know, everything about the culture, the arts. But of course, the honoree has a participation of explaining things and about him.
Well, the God Awards is also affiliated to the UN, to the United Nations. How did that happen, and tell us about that?
No, actually it is not. It's an independent event.
Right, okay.
Okay. We Care for Humanity, though, is affiliated with the United Nations, and our event is being held at the UN.
Okay.
We are independent, however, it's not easy to hold an event at the United Nations. You must have a big pool, or at least you're affiliated, and you have our board of directors and board of judging and nominating committee are all part of the United Nations.
Okay.
So that what makes it almost like we are from United.
Part of the United Nations.
I'm waving it. Okay. We don't wanna. Yeah. So, anyways, also. Well, you mentioned about the traveling crew. You know, we're very practical. We're a non-profit organization. We don't want to waste money and time. I travel by myself.
Which is my next question, really. How is it all funded? All the work that you do?
Yes. Well, one, of course, public donations, and we do fundraisings. The GOD Awards is a fundraising campaign. We are fairly new. We only been, we got our 501c3 in 2011, although we've been operating since 2009. So you need at least about 5 years before to be, you know, a government to be funding you.
Okay.
Right? So right now it's public donations, corporate donations, and our own fundraising campaigns. Back to the traveling crew. Like I mentioned, we're very, very practical and economical. So I travel by myself and I pick my crew right on that location.
Okay.
And this is normally sponsored by the honoree themselves.
All right.
They will help me because, number one, I'm not getting paid to do the
very simple princess.
Yes, I'm a simple princess. There's nothing royal about me. My blood is type A.
Yeah. Hey, me too.
It's humanity's blood. It's not royal blood.
That's right.
So And I'm very, very thankful, by the way, for all the honorees, the sponsors who have helped us. Everywhere I go, there are great people, great hearts who've been supporting because they know this is for a good cause.
Yeah.
And here in Malaysia, I have to thank Ambassador Dato Sri, who and Ravindran, who organized everything and made the effort for me to come over and do the documentation and, of course, forming of the We Care for Humanity.
So both of them will be directly involved and they will help to spearhead the organization here in Malaysia.
They're the key people to head the We Care for Humanity Malaysia.
Now, when you set out on your missions, on your travels, you were truly, through your eyes, seeking heroes. When you internalize that, what's that experience like for you?
I always say I have the best job in the world.
Oh, I can agree with that.
Yes. You know, when you're just meeting, when you know you're meeting a humanitarian and you will spend time with them for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, you know that there's nothing that will go wrong because you're in good hands. You're with great people. And you see, sometimes I cry. I'm so moved and touched by what they're doing. I still can't believe that I'm doing what I'm doing right now.
Yeah, it's a dream.
I'm so privileged.
Yeah. And sometimes we want to do what we can, but we can't all, like you mentioned earlier, do it alone. And then you have all these people.
And through them,
yeah,
it's like an extension of what you really want to do inside.
Well, we have a video coming up now. Let's take a quick look at this beautiful video. That's a beautiful video of some of the work of Princess on ground, on the road with all the travels. In the video we saw you in Nigeria and Indonesia, India,
Philippines.
Yeah. Okay, well, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we still have lots to talk about with Her Highness Princess Maria Amor. Do stay tuned.
Terima kasih. Sama-sama. Terima kasih. Sama-sama. Sama-sama. Terima kasih. Sama-sama. Sama-sama.
Malaysia. Menongkah batasan masa, mengupas isu semasa, jadi saluran pelbagai suara, segalanya baru dan benar di Berita Bernama TV.
Hi there and welcome back. You're watching The Nation with me, Jessie Chahel. But more importantly, my guest today is Her Highness Princess Maria Amor, who is not only the founder and president of the We Care for Humanity, but also the founder and creator of the GOD Awards, which actually stands for Global Officials of Dignity Awards, which is affiliated through the We Care for Humanity, which is an affiliation of United Nations in New York. And so we were talking before the break about, how it is when you internalize it. How is the experience for you? What is planned up for the rest of 2015? We've just started the year. I'm sure you've got many things under that many hats of yours.
Yes. Well, just for the traveling princess, because we're still nominating candidates for the GOD Awards. There are lined up honorees to be visited in Los Angeles. I'm still shooting there, and in Egypt, and I have to go back to India for more honorees, and there's one in Bahrain, I think, and I'm also going in KSA.
Okay.
So that's quite, and the event is already in August, so not much time. And I'm still also planning to put up our long planned awards for non-violent films.
Okay, I think
so that's going to be in Hollywood, idea. And you will like that, and definitely I will let you know about it. You must come and at least present awards or be one of our hosts. Probably
it would be my honor. But the issue of promoting non-violence films or movies, or dramas for that matter, I think it's so important. When you switch on the TV, what are we saying? What are we trying to propagate? It's all that violence which is so unnecessary.
And that's the reason why, wars here and there. So we need to solve this peace issue, and one of the key is promoting non-violent films, because I think most of our, even rap, music are filled with violent words or rhymes. So it's not really good. So we are trying to do that, honoring religious films, humanitarian films, and family films. And not only that, we're also honoring arts and culture that are wholesome. Which is supposed to be wholesome. Art is not violent. Art is not bloody. So
it's expression.
Yes.
Form of expression, right?
It's a form of expression, but it doesn't have to be violent. It's
gory.
Well, it's an expression because we invoke too much of hatred and anger, which is not artistic at all.
Well, all these efforts are, of course, going towards promoting world peace. And, they always say, yes, world peace, but will it ever happen? What is your opinion about that?
I just attended the World Peace Summit in Korea, which were attended by almost 200,000 people and 1,500 religious leaders and about 200 heads of states. So a lot of presidents, ex-presidents, former vice presidents here and that. And it was very successful. And they made a pledge that they will work towards peace. I saw many countries who attended. Countries you won't believe that. I mean, there are wars going on in there, and they're in the peace summit. And that's what they said. They will promise. So we signed a sort of allegiance. And now to kind of follow up on that, we have our monthly or quarterly meetings and see what's going on in different countries. So I hope, which it just happened recently, I hope that would really take effect. There are also So most of the religious leaders are working on creating something, which I don't want to really go deeper because it's too sensitive.
Yeah.
So that's one. And another thing from the We Care for Humanity is the awards, the Human Awards that we are going to organize. It's more Hollywood based but promoting nonviolence.
You know, all our viewers out there, perhaps maybe not all, but some, but like me, I'm wondering, what if I wanted to do even a speck of what you are doing, you know? What if I wanted to help to promote one of the many things that you, whether it's world peace or whether it's eradication of poverty or just, you know, working with migrants? How can one do that? Because we find maybe a lot of red tape, challenges. How is that?
Well, that's the whole idea of We Care for Humanity, is to work with independent NGOs and individuals as well. So we are very approachable, and that's the reason why we put chapters in different countries. And these also chapters will put chapters in different cities. So we are forming, we're on the stage right now. Everybody's welcome. They can email me, they can Facebook me. I have 3 pages on Facebook. Okay. So, and we listen to everybody. And if for example, this is something that has the issue or the concern has global effects and it can be done, why not? I will be there. I'll hop on the next
Wow, that's the simple princess for you, right? How do you even find the time for all of this, is my question.
Well, yes, I always have the time for humanity. I don't have the time though for my personal things.
How do you unwind? How do you relax?
How? I can't remember the last time. Well, last night we had dinner with the group. For me, that's unwinding already. No, but basically, I have friends. You know, we see each other when I'm back, which we don't know when it's that. That's it. Spending time with family, which is once or 3 times a year. I go back to Philippines, and over there I was so relaxed. You know?
Home. It's home.
It's home. So my mother cooks for me. She's a great cook, and it was just her 70th birthday. Mother, I love you.
Happy birthday.
I'm so sorry I wasn't able to go home to Philippines. I worked first, but it's a big celebration, so I love you, Mother.
Oh, that's very sweet. You're working for the world.
Yes.
You know,
she knows, she understands that.
Well, now that you've done all of this, what is the future plan? What could be bigger, better, beyond this for you?
Okay, so one of the, again, there's so many missions, bottom line for us is to convert every human being into being a humanitarian. If we can, if someone, simple person cleaning the street, if I could convert him to at least do something good for the day, I would do that. And from the poorest to the tycoons and the elites and the wealthiest man of the world, if I could convince them to help out,
and across all age groups as well.
Yes, and it doesn't choose any color or creed or religion or. Everybody should be humanitarian. We should not be divided by nation or by religion at all.
It's a process that I think will happen, but may take time for everyone to kind of come around. Also, everyone will have different opinions and outlooks on this. What do you say to people who go, okay, Princess, yes, you know, you can do all this work, but it's never going to happen? To the naysayers, what do you say to them?
Yeah, just watch me. Watch me do it.
All eyes on Princess now.
No, it's not. I don't challenge people. You know, everybody has different level of helping people. They don't have to do the same thing that I'm doing or other people doing. I mean, I don't have that capacity or level where I can give so much money or so much goodies or no. Most of my help is putting things together, collaborating.
Being an agent.
Being an agent and the dynamics of me traveling and meeting these great people around the world is they get to also network with one another, because I am sort of the catalyst there. I'm in the middle of everything.
The mover and the shaker, I must say.
Yes, I move a lot, shake a lot.
Well, I wish we had more time on the show. We're a bit short of time today. We had so much to talk about. It's indeed a pleasure, and I'd like to welcome you back to Malaysia.
Thank you.
Anytime.
Before you let me go, I would like to thank, of course, my sponsors in India, Dr. Kanoria, HP Kanoria, our honoree from Kolkata, and of course our honoree from Sri Lanka, His Excellency Jeff Gunawardena, and here in Malaysia, Ambassador Dato Sri. And of course, I must reveal right now that Ravindran is going to United Nations.
That's right.
Will be honored as well.
All right. Congratulations to Ravindran. I mean, also he has done so much work.
I am moved
silently,
by what
a silent
he's
hero.
doing.
Yeah.
And the fact that he doesn't hide it, that he came from himself from the orphanage as well, and that's why he's giving back.
That's right. That in itself is beautiful. So congratulations, Ravin, who will be making his way all the way to the United Nations for the God Awards. That's right. Okay, well, join us tomorrow, same time, same place. Thank you for being with us today. And it's me and the Princess signing off. Bye-bye.
Yes.